if I give birth to my child and my child wants to get a tattoo,
Right.
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
You see, you have to earn the freedom.
But what do you mean you have to? Logo, what do you mean you have to end the freedom? Hello everyone. My name is Walks and welcome to Chow Walks, and I'm here with my G as usual.
Finchy.
Yeah, Salam Finchi. Chale Salam. Today, I would like us to talk about, parents and, their influence, or how do I even explain it? The expectations on.
I mean, typically we want to talk about Ghanaian kind of parents.
Yes, or let's say the typical African type of parent. You understand?
Right.
Yeah. And the friction sometimes it causes when you are a kid and you grow up and you want to do some things and they don't feel like it is right and they still treat you like a kid. You understand? Yeah, something of that sort.
Basically, like you are an adult, but you still live with your parents, right? The kind of conflict, there will always be this tension.
Yeah.
If you're an adult and you're living with your parents, because, sometimes you feel like, hey, I'm an adult, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And they also feel like, no, do this instead, or don't do that, right?
But how do, to me, Logo, if I have a child, okay, and the child is probably, to me, after secondary school, as my child, I see as an adult. I don't care whether I'm still looking after you or you're now going to the university. I don't care about those things. To me, I feel like you're an adult, you have gotten to a point where you should be able to make some 80% of your decisions in life, even though in a way you still have some way to go. But yeah, to me, I still feel like an adult. If you come and talk to me and I feel like what you're saying makes sense, or not even makes sense, even if it doesn't make sense to me and I feel like it's not something too much of a big deal, I'll let you do it. I'll just let you do it. I don't really mind.
Yeah, but you see, the funny thing is, what you are saying right now too, that's what your parents also feel. It's just that what you consider a big deal is what they consider a big deal might not be what you also consider a big deal.
Right? Let me give you an example. Let's say I have a kid, okay, and the kid is probably, 18 years, just like I said, 18, 19, and he said he wants to go and braid his hair. A guy, he wants to go and braid his hair. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong. That doesn't affect your character as a human being. So why should I stop you? Because you think that probably societally it is wrong. But I have my own perspective on that. If my kid wants to braid his hair, I don't have any issue with that at all. Go and do it. I don't mind.
Yeah. So the thing that I've realized is, so some of these things, it's very difficult to really get a balanced perspective if you've not been through the experience. So we always have our perspective because we are not parents, right? But then parents will also feel like, well, you are not in our shoes. But what I also noticed is that sometimes if you're a parent and you get to a point where that tension has gone beyond a certain limit, I think it means that you have failed in a certain way. Because if I have a child, I feel like by the time the child should get to adulthood, I should have been able to mold the child in the way that I would want them to be.
But you see, there's so much you can control as a parent. You mold the child in the way that you want the child to be. But you see, strangely enough, the child will just be like 30% of how you want the child to be. The rest is up to the child.
No, I don't think so. I think you can't really put a percentage. I think when I say mold the child to the way I want the child to be, so they say train up a child the way he should go. When he grows up, you'll not depart from it. There's a truth to that, in the sense that
I'm happy you said there's a truth to that.
Yes. There's a truth to that. And sometimes you, the parent, might think this is how you want your child to be, but whatever efforts you are putting in are not leading to that result. So there's a difference between what the parent wants in their mind and what they are actually building, what they are working towards. But whatever the parent works towards is what the child has become.
Okay.
You get it.
I get it.
So that's why I'm saying that. So when the child, you the parent, are beginning to see something that you think that this is not what you want, it's most likely that, well, what you put in is what you are getting. That's why I'm saying that usually it's because the parents has failed to do something.
Okay.
So I think it's more about making sure that you set the foundation right, so that you can trust the child to make good decisions. That's what brings the conflict to.
Okay.
The parent does not trust that this child is old enough or sensible enough to make their own decisions.
And it is sad because I know of some people, okay, they're of age, bro, they are done university, like full-fledged adults, okay. Yeah, probably they haven't moved out of their parents' house, okay, because I mean they are still in their 23, 24. And when they go out, when it is 8:30, they'll be like, yo, I have to go out. I have to go home. Because if I don't go home, they're going to complain. They'll start calling. They'll start bombarding me with calls. So they're going to start harassing me with calls and all of that. But I feel like, yo, the guy is a full-fledged adult. Why don't you let the person be? He's responsible enough to take care of himself. And see, the problem is not, you see, these homes don't even have curfew. So there's some homes, they have curfew. It's a policy, it's a rule in the house. But these homes don't have curfew. Because if you are to go into it, okay, these parents can also go out and come after 10 p.m. But no one will talk because it's the father, it's the mother, right? But why is it that if the kid, who's probably like 23, 24 years, is to go out and it's after 8:30, you are bombarding your child with calls? For what reason? You don't know what he's doing outside. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Let the person be free. He's an adult. Let him go through life experiences, forge his own path, and it affects the youth. And sometimes it's sad because for me, in my household, okay, I didn't experience that. Okay, if I go out, sometimes I can even stay as late as 12 a.m. As long as I've pre-informed them, they don't have an issue. But I don't know why most Ghanaian parents or African parents have that issue. It's always a mystery to me, honestly.
No, I think so. I think there's more nuance to it than that, right? Because it's not really about age. So one thing, I spoke with a teenager who was having like issue, like, oh, the parents, I mean, she's old now, they have to give her some freedom and all that.
Yeah.
No, you see, you have to earn the freedom.
But what do you mean you have to, look, what do you mean you have to earn the freedom?
You let me finish my point.
The age is enough for him to earn the freedom, or her to earn the freedom, honestly.
That's why I'm saying that sometimes it's the parent, but sometimes also it's the child. Now,
okay, I'm listening.
If you are at home with your parents, and in the most basic of things, you've not shown that you can be a responsible person, right? Maybe you're at home every day. Your mother has to be fighting with you to get off the video game, to clean your room, or to go and shower. All those things, they'll note all those things down. Every day you'll be doing it in the house, but because you're in the house, fine. Now, this person, the only time you took a bath is when you are going out, and you expect them to trust that, oh, this person is responsible enough to take care of themselves. That's why I'm saying that it's an issue of trust. So with me, growing up, I showed signs of being responsible. So right from my teenagehood, for instance, growing up, I never made bad friends, right, in quotes. You never see me in the wrong crowd. When I go to school, I do my best, that kind of thing. So I realized that it got to a point where my other siblings who were not really doing as well, my brother, he would skip classes sometimes. He ran away to go and play with his friends, those kind of things. So you realize that my dad was a bit more strict on him.
Okay.
So, for instance, there were times that I also started to take advantage of that. I know my dad trusts me, so there were times where I'll also skip school and run away. But my dad is never going to come to my school at random to come and check if I'm there. But he did that to my other brother because he had not earned his trust.
Logo.
That's what I'm talking about. So even though he was older than me, they gave me more freedom.
But you guys were still teenagers. That is understandable.
No, it's not that. That's what I'm saying. That so even when you are growing, as long as you are under their roof, and that's another key thing that we have to be honest about this one. Right, works. We have to be honest about this one. I have a little brother who lives with me.
Yeah.
Now it is my place. I rented the place. I own the place. Everything over there is mine. Now I can choose to go out and come at 2 a.m. It's my place. Now, if I choose to sleep at 10 or 9, I have to make sure that the place is secure. I have to lock my doors and all that.
Yes.
Now imagine that I'm trying to sleep, and then my little brother who lives with me is not around. He's not back.
Yeah.
Because he's an adult. Fine, you're an adult. Okay, then I'll be sleeping and you come and be knocking. Or you expect me to leave the door open.
Oh, there's an easy way
because you come back.
There's an easy way to solve that solution. Just give him a spare key or another key.
If he wants keys, he should go and rent his place. When I paid the landlord, he gave me keys. That's why I'm saying that, for instance, there are places like I have some friends who are Americans, and when they get to a certain age, their parents make them to start to pay rent and things like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, for that one, it's understandable.
But you are in the house, you are not contributing. You're not doing anything. You say that basically you want rights without responsibilities. That's what most teenagers want. They want to be treated like an adult without the responsibility of an adult.
Look, we are not looking at teenagers. We are looking at adults. Someone that can take care of himself.
You are not taking care of yourself if you are still in your parents' house.
There are people that are living in their parents' house that don't take anything from their parents.
Good, then you are taking care of yourself.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So most of these people that we are talking about, there is nobody who is taking care of himself, who is in his parents' house.
See,
parents are on his neck.
There are people that are taking care of themselves who live in their parents' house and still are not able to do some things because they think that their parents will talk.
Some things like what?
I don't know. Probably, let's say, in a typical household. Let's say right now, okay. I'm still. Let's say I'm still living with my parents, okay, and I take care of myself. I work. I take care of everything. I even sometimes contribute to the utility bills in the house. And let's say I feel like I want to have a tattoo. Okay, probably on my arm, or any part of my body.
Right.
But I'm being hesitant to do that because of my parents. Because I know how, probably close-minded they may be about it, or, you get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Or they might have their own reservations about the whole thing. So I'm not going to do that. But if I was living at my own place, yes, I'll be able to do that. But we are not looking at it from that perspective. We're looking at it at the point that I'm living with my parents. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You see, the whole issue is that whether you're living with your parents or not, parents should realize that when their children or their child gets to a certain age,
that's why I disagree.
All they can do is to suggest. All they can do is to just be, in a way, accepting of whatever the child is doing, knowing that he's my child. I have trained the child the way that he or she should go. Right. So whatever decision that she makes, she is going to bear that. Do you get what I'm trying to? Or he is going to bear that. So let a child be.
No, so and that is my problem. You see, when you say that the consequences, he or she is going to bear it.
Yeah.
He or she is not going to be the one bearing the consequences.
So who's going to bear it?
The fact is that if you are in the household, you are living in my house, and you go out to be irresponsible, whatever consequences you are bringing it to the house.
What house?
You are bringing it to the household.
Like what? Give me an example. Right now, if
you go out at night, you go out late, you stay out late, you get into trouble, you are drinking with your friends, you get into trouble.
Yeah.
You get arrested. What do you think is going to happen?
No, that was different. Even if you are living out of your parents' house and you're living alone and you were to get arrested, you can still call your parents to come and bail you out.
No, I'm not talking about calling them to come and bail you out.
But what?
I'm talking about the fact that whatever consequences that you face is going to affect the household.
In what way? Because no matter where you go, whatever that you do, it will affect your family.
No,
because,
it's not the same. So the thing you're talking about with tattoos, even if you are not, so I can also make the same argument you're making. Even if you are in your own house and you make a tattoo, your mother comes to see it and she will complain.
She
will still complain. Only that you won't be hearing the complaint every day because you are not in the same house. But anytime she sees you,
she will complain.
So it's the same thing.
That's what. So
it's not different.
Yes, it's not different. But that's a problem. That's what we are talking about this topic. But this issue. That's what the problem is.
No, it's not a problem.
It's a problem.
What makes you think? Why is it a problem?
If let's say me, if I have a kid, okay, I'm saying this. If I give birth to my child.
Right.
And my child is old, 18 and above. And my child wants to get a tattoo. Okay. Right. I wouldn't have a problem with it. Because you are old enough to make your own decisions. Whatever that you want to do it. Yeah, probably I can suggest, don't overdo it. Don't go and get an entire body sleeve tattoo. It's not good. You understand? If I say it and you still feel like this is what you want, do it. I mean, I don't have any issue with that. It still doesn't affect the love that I have for you. Look,
what you're saying is the same thing your parents are doing, or people whose parents are. The issue we are talking about. Your parents cannot force you. They are not going to chop off your arm because you tattooed it.
See, there are some parents that will have the whole fight with you because you have gone to.
Yes. No, what is it? They'll have a whole fight with you. It's
like
just
a whole fight where to the point that they can say that you are not staying in my house with that tattoo.
Exactly. So if you think you are old enough, no, it's not a problem. Why is it a problem?
It's a problem.
If you think that this person is old enough to take care of themselves, why should the father saying, "Well, you can't be in my house with a tattoo or with this haircut"? Why is it a problem?
It's a problem.
That is where I have the issue.
Look, these are things that
that's why I'm saying that that person is not an adult because they are not independent.
How is that? If I get a tattoo on my body right now, how is it affecting you, my mom or my dad? It's not affecting you in any way. It is affecting me. I inflicted that pain on my skin. No. When those needles was hitting me,
whatever your parents are doing, it's their responsibility to make sure that 1, you are okay, 1, you are doing 2, you are doing well, and 3, that you are conforming to society. Look,
but that's
in our time, we like to talk about society that listen. That is how the human race has survived. If you think that we should all live like, we are in a jungle or whatever. God. Yes, there should be a degree of individuality and some freedom and whatever. But the truth is, there has to be a social order.
For always there will be social order. But you see, there can be social order in how I don't even know how to put this.
You see, the thing is that with the example that you gave, you've gone to tattoo. Let's say I'm a father. You've gone to tattoo yourself. And I tell you, I've already... The fact, it's not even like before you do the tattoo, definitely you knew.
Logo.
Now you go and tattoo, you can tell you that, well, no member of this household is going to be allowed to have tattoos. So if you think that you have the right to get a tattoo because you are an adult, then go and be independent.
Logo, do you know that? Do you know that?
Simple.
Do you know that they are parents? Okay. Right. There are some parents that, there are some, let me use Ghanaian parents because we live in Ghana. There are some Ghanaian parents
right,
that can disown their kid or their child, okay, because let's say he or she has decided to change his or her religion, and they are not living with their parents, so they are independent. Yeah. We've heard of countless situations where maybe a man will fall in love with a woman, or a woman will fall in love with a man, and they are of 2 different religions. Okay, probably
or tribes.
She says tribes, and they'll go and do the whole knocking, blah 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 introduction, and the parents will be like, if you go ahead with this decision that you're deciding to make, I do not know you anymore. Why, as a parent, will you do that?
Okay, so
because to me, it doesn't make sense to me. Then that means that your love that you always had for your child has always been conditional.
No, so listen. I do not agree with the decision to disown people over certain
Let me just say this before you talk. Because with that one, you can't say that they are living in the same household. They are not living in the same house. Heck, parents even go to the point that they have a problem with some professions that their children have decided to go down. Like, let's say you're expecting your child to be a doctor, and the child says, I'm going to be a creative director or a photographer.
Okay.
Like, how does that affect you? No. If the child is making an honest living out of it, why should you have an issue with it?
That's why I'm saying that. As I'm here now, there are times where, in terms of even jobs and those things. So my dad, he's like, why don't you, apply for this, apply for that? And I'm like, no, this is what I'm doing. and he doesn't really understand what I'm doing or how secure it is and stuff. You know what I did? One time I had a conversation with him and I tried to give him a certain assurance that, look, so far, you've realized that I'm independent, I'm taking care of myself, I'm paying my bills, I've seen myself through school.
Yeah.
I want you to relax. I understand that you feel like, oh, maybe this job is more secure, this or that.
Yeah.
But trust me that I know exactly what I'm doing, and everything is going to turn out fine. And since then, he now asks me to try to get to understand what I am doing. Because from his perspective, his time, he doesn't really understand the new economy we are in and what I'm doing and the freelance. And he hasn't until that. But it was up to me to let him get that understanding. Now, there are some people who are more stubborn than others.
Very close-minded. Your dad is a big man. Big ups to him, bro.
We have to understand that. Mm-hmm. One thing that helped me in my relationship with my dad. Now, I say my dad big up. My relationship with my dad hasn't always been like this. That's the funny thing. My relationship with my dad hasn't always been like this. But it got to a point, I realized that no. I used to have a lot of fights with my dad over something, but I realized no. What I realized was that the same way that I feel like I'm right, I can make my own decisions and all this. Yeah. He's also an individual and he also has a right to make his own decisions.
Okay.
So I have a right to make my own decisions concerning him and he also has a right to make his own decisions
concerning you. Okay.
So now let us not have a double standard here. If you feel you have a right to go against your parents' word that don't marry from this tribe or don't marry this person or whatever, and you decide that you're going to marry, and your parents say they will disown you because of that, you should be happy. Go ahead. If truly you believe that it is a good decision for you, it is a good decision for you, go ahead. Why should that be a problem for you? Now, you see, and it's the other way around. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay, you finish.
For me, I have a good relationship with my parents, but they know me that when I make a decision that I really think is something I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Disowning me is not going to change anything. And
right.
Mind you, personally, I've been a victim of this particular example that you want to marry somebody because of tribe. So I've been a victim. Not that my parents, they know that thing won't fly. If I bring somebody home like this, the person I'm in a relationship with, and you have any objection, tribe is not one of them. You can have any objection, but tribe is not one of them.
What about religion?
I'm talking about the women.
Okay.
So the women that I've been with, I think it's happened like twice.
Hey.
Where I had to end the relationship because their parents don't want an ewe or that kind of thing. But what I feel is that, so if the lady decides to go ahead and marry me by force, the parents are going to say they are going to disown her.
Yeah.
Now, is she okay with that? Now, if she is not okay with that, that is an issue with her, not with the parents.
You see,
because it is. Forget about right or wrong. No. I wish my parents wouldn't do that. That's a different thing. But the same way that you think, you feel, you should be able to, they should allow you to make this decision. They also feel you should also allow them to make that decision to disown you.
But you see, Logo, family is family. Oh. For you to open your mouth and say you disown your child, is grave. That's heavy. You understand? And any child will be entirely devastated to hear that.
But do you know that part of being an adult is living with the consequences of your decisions?
Yes.
So if you are truly an adult, who, like your brother say, now you're a man, you are a man. If you're a man, go and marry so that they disown you. You see, that is what, even though, yes, it hurts and nobody would want that.
Yes,
but if truly you are an adult and you think you've made an adult's decision.
But you see, Logo, I mean, my own is that as parents, sometimes we should, my own is that parents, sometimes you guys should, I don't have to explain that. I feel like sometimes they don't even see things from the child's perspective.
Yes.
We have parents still see their children as kids. So a guy or a woman can be 30 years of age. He has done a lot for his or her life, but whenever he goes to his parents' house, they still try to baby him or her. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We have parents, and me, I'm not of the practice okay, or the view that when you have a child, you should be so protective of the child. If a child will get spoiled, he or she will get spoiled. The fact that you've even placed the child into school exposes that child to a whole lot of experiences. Boarding school alone, actually, the things that me I saw in boarding school. So it's Obaba say. I remember when we were children, we had this girl. Wherever she goes, okay, right, she has a driver. thinking that is what is going to make her grow up in a well-mannered way. No, it didn't. There are two things that will happen. Either the child will become very, very timid, overly timid, and have anxiety issues because you're always protecting the child. Or two, the child will one day rebel or have will show her true self from you. We showed her true self from you because with this girl I'm talking about, probably at home she was reserved, quiet, and calm, and to her parents they knew that this my kid is cool and all of that. But we that knew her outside of her parents' house, Charlie, that girl was crazy. That girl was crazy. We completed when we completed like JHS junior high. I think 9 years down the line, I met her somewhere. That was, I think, a year after secondary school. I met her. I was like, and you know that she was still being driven by someone. They still don't allow her to go anywhere by herself. Why will you do that? Why are you keeping the child? Why you allow the child to be free? Liberate the child. The fact that you have bring your child into the world, okay, you've exposed the child to a lot of things already. You can do so much by protecting the child. But I feel like after a certain age, allow the child to go through his or her experiences, make mistakes. All you can do is to suggest. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Bro, we have parents where, okay, let's say they've taken you to school. You have a degree now. They're expecting you to do a 9 to 5, just like something that you're in the freelancing. They're expecting you to do a 9 to 5 job. All right. And you say you won't do the 9 to 5 job. And probably want to go into, I don't know, want to be a writer or you want to be a rapper.
Rapper, they mention.
Or you want to be, or let me say, you just want to be, or you want to go into acting, you want to be an actor. So let me say, you want to be a musician or you want to be an actor.
Yeah.
Do you know how many parents that will fume over that? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yes, I might get where they are coming from. Okay, but I feel like probably that's a child's passion. Allow the child to try. You might never know. Who knows? It might be the next Black Hole. Who knows? It might be the next Denzel Washington. You might never know. Probably that's it. That's his or a calling. Allowed. There are some people that will go as far as saying that. I know of a friend there. He has been able to prove to his parents that this thing that I'm doing, this creative thing, this music thing I'm doing, I'm making something out of it. I don't even remember the last time I asked you people money. But the parents think that the child is bringing disgrace to the family just by the fact that he's doing music.
Instead of you to do something to honor your family name.
No. See, if and the sad thing, looking at the perspective that the parents are in, even if the child is to win a Grammy Award, the parents won't still be proud. And it is sad.
No, why is it sad?
It is very sad.
No, why is
the whole
it
point
sad?
of life? The whole point of life is to do something that you love and how do I explain it? Be fulfilling with it. So if your child has found this purpose and he's excelling in it and he's being fulfilled with it, why should you as a parent have a problem with it because you think that with the people that you have around you or in society, it is somehow not a good thing or it is not that he or she has brought disgrace to you. Like, bro.
Okay.
Like,
so
why? Like, why? I don't understand why.
Works. We can talk about what should be and what ought to be and all that. But I think what would be beneficial for everybody who is engaging in this conversation, right, would be what can you actually do to help? Now, at the risk of sounding like a victim blamer, this is a known fact. Even therapists and counselors know this, that in any abusive relationship, it's both ways. The person being abused is usually also complicit in allowing the abuse. What am I trying to say? like I said, really being an adult, what it means is that you have to separate from your parents. A lot of people, they've left their father's house.
Oh yeah.
But still, they are not separated. Especially with the mothers. Some people's umbilical cords are still not cut. The umbilical cord cutting, there's the physical cutting, and then there's a spiritual one or a psychological one that you have to cut. And until you cut it, you are always going to, they will always exercise that undue authority that you think they are exercising over you.
Yeah.
They cannot exercise it if you don't allow it. Now, very abusive and emotionally manipulative people are the kind of parents who use things like, I will disown you, to try and blackmail you. But it can only work when you allow it. That is what we need to understand. So, Works, you and I, we can never tell our parents what to do. They are parents.
Of course,
we cannot tell them what to do.
They'll say it's a huge disrespect.
Yes. So because of that, we will, as adults, if we have truly become adults, we are truly independent. What will happen is that if we are truly separated from our parents, we understand that, yes, I want to honor you, I want to respect you, but this is my decision. Now, if you are not going to be in support of my decision, you can say that, but to try to now manipulate me by saying you disown me and all those things. If I say that because my father say you disown me, I will no longer marry this person or take this decision, then what it means is that I myself am still allowing them to exercise that authority.
Yeah.
And sometimes the consequence is that they will indeed do. But that is rather saying something about them, not you. Now, of course, this is not in every case. Some of you just want to go and fool around. Fine. If the fooling around is what you want to do, and because of your parents, they will disown you, and you think that you will live without consequences over that, that's also fine. But the point is that what makes you an adult is the fact that you are able to make that stand. You're able to separate yourself from your parents.
And break free. Break free.
Yes, some parents will set you free, but with other parents, you
have to take your stand. That is actually true. You have to take your stand. Them. For some parents, they want you to. I feel like, for some parents, they want you to take a stand. Once you take a stand and you're unmovable, they take a step back. I'm like, okay, I get you. I'm gonna let you be.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But then for those of you living in your parents' house,
even in your parents' house, break free.
Break free, they know what's the sound, man.
Even in your parents, you should be able to break free.
No, that's why I see. So even though, like even now, there are times where I go to my parents' house and I go and sometimes I can be there for weeks, right? Mm-hmm. And when I go, the treatment is still different.
Yeah.
And when I go there, for instance, I don't stay out too late because I'm like, it's somebody's house. You can't be in somebody's house and be doing what you want. As for that one, I don't understand why you want to be in somebody's house. I get it,
but
and be doing what you want.
But I get it. But Charlie, I'm sometimes when I listen to some of the things that the people that I know talk about, their dynamics with their parents. I feel like, I'm very much appreciative of the parents that I got because they are very much understanding and quite flexible. Me right now,
there's crazy right now,
stuff I can confidently say my mom treats me like an adult. Sometimes she can come to my room. We can talk about adult stuff. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Me at the age of 18, my mom told me that, Danny, I know that age you've gotten to, okay, you've grown. Whether I like it or not, without my knowledge or with my knowledge, you'll one day have sex. So if you had to do it, I would advise you to use a condom. When I was 18 years of age, I was surprised because my mom has never had spoken anything sexual with me before. For her to, she just entered my room one evening and she just said that and she just left. I don't know what she saw. And I doubt a lot of parents will not even dare to think about it or to say, I'm crossing that border with my child. They won't. They don't even want to hear that, oh, my child has a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Maybe probably if I have a relationship, I can go and talk to my mom about it. And we will just have a very friendly conversation as if like we know each other. Let's put the whole parent, child or parent, son, the whole thing away. To just be two adults talking. And I'm not lying to you.
No. it can still be a mother and a son
I'm telling you that it's not going to be a mother and son talking.
No, what I'm saying is that the relationship between mother and son, father and son, that relation never changes, but it changes as it goes. But it's not like now we are just two random adults talking. No, your father will always see you as his son, and you should always see your father as your father.
Oh yeah, of course.
But then, for instance, now when I talk with my dad, like I said, it's different.
Yeah.
Like now my dad even consults me on certain things. Right? Yeah. Because I'm an adult, so he's treating me as an adult.
Yeah.
The thing is that there are abusive parents. We don't want to go beyond. There are parents who emotionally manipulate their children with "I'll disown you" and those kind of things. But then also you have to understand that try to be a responsible person. Look, if you are a responsible adult, nobody can deny you your rights as an adult. That's a fact.
Okay.
Most of these cases that they talk about, my parents, they don't want to treat me like an adult. Like I said from the beginning, he wakes up, he doesn't even brush his teeth. Every day the mother will have to come, hey. And then he will say, I'm an adult. Hey, I have to do what I want. You want to be smelling around the house and offending people with your body odor and claiming no, you see. So you have to demonstrate that you are an adult.
Yeah.
And parents, it's difficult for parents to make that switch. It's easier for some than others. But generally, it has to be both ways. If you yourself, ask yourself, why is it that my parents don't trust me to make good decisions? Why is it that my parents still see me as a child?
Yeah.
Ask yourself that question.
Yeah, some people
and
are not...
usually it's coming from
some people are not that, how do I explain, introspective with themselves when it comes to those issues. You have to be somewhat aware to a certain point to, criticize yourself and say that, what am I doing wrong? Some people don't do that. Actually, what you're saying is true. Yeah, so Charlie, if not take we'll go talk, Charlie Salon.
But then I think we've gotten the point across.
Yeah, we've gotten the point across.
Like, I mean, and I'm not sure a lot of parents are listening to us.
Nah, I'm not sure, man.
That's why I'm saying we can't tell them what to do. We can't tell our mothers and fathers what to do.
Yeah.
But what we can do is that how do we cope with it? How can we? And that's what I'm talking about. Look at yourself. And fix yourself.
Yeah.
Like some government was telling us.
Yeah. Or make
fix yourself.
or if you make things simple for you, Charlie, just like Logo said, leave the house.
Yes.
You save enough money and just leave. Yeah.
And show that you are an adult. See, that's the point.
It doesn't really
for some parents, you have to show them that you are an adult.
Sometimes it doesn't even solve the problem, but I mean, hey, at least you are liberated. So yeah. So anyways, guys, this is Chow Walks, and we'll see you on the next episode. Yeah, peace.